June 21st, summer solstice. I haven't been here at Pado for 3 weeks. Feels great to be back and see how the plant life has come along. So I did want to make a race report from Sasquatch, 10 miler, 10.5 technically, 17K, Southern Ohio. I've run the course before. That was on Sunday, June 7th, 2 weeks ago. And I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I've run the course before, but the dynamics of the race was just fun to be a part of. Not too many in the race. I think it was 49, 24 women, I believe. As the day before, 50K went, a 20 miler went, and the 10.5 loop was run also on the Saturday. But I just can't work on Friday night and then get myself to a 10 miler after 5 hours of driving. I used to be able to do that stuff, but not anymore. So I ran it Sunday. And for that reason, with the bigger focus on Saturday, I believe that the Sunday is a smaller race. Anyhow, I'm going to say at about 3-ish miles in, you're going up a climb, and at the top of the climb, the local horse club presence is there guiding us through a turn right at the top. And there's a young fellow, I would say in his early 30s, ahead of me. And when we got to the top of the climb, he was ahead of me probably about 15 yards, thinking in imperial terms right now. And so when I got to the top, I saw the 2 horse riders on back, and I thanked them for being there on the trail for us. And so I didn't realize it at the time, but that was an alarm to the young fellow, in that not only was a female behind him, but an old female. So I didn't think anything of it so we went through a flat area, maybe a couple hundred yards, and it was a relief from the climb for sure. And then we came a descent, and he just took off like a shot. And I thought, wow, it's so joyful for me to observe that, because I don't run downhill very hard anymore. But to not only see him running downhill hard, but the power that he was putting forth. And he was gone. Anyhow, I didn't expect to see him again, but it wasn't long after, I think we started to level off again, and I caught up to him. And then another downhill came, but it wasn't as extreme. But again, he took off, and yeah, it's just cool to watch. So levels off, and I'm caught up to him again without intention. And then I ended up passing him, and wouldn't you know it, I never saw him again. So it led me to think, it must have been, I think, having this old woman behind him stimulated his ego and inspired him to really put the hammer down when we were descending. But I didn't realize until he never caught up to me that final time that he had spent himself. So Okay, that was it. He was gone. Never saw me again, so I'm beyond him. And carry on, the one and only aid station was approximately halfway. So let's say 5 miles. And, it's in an opening, it's in a campground area. So I checked, my liquids. Thought, yeah, I'm okay. I can make it through 5 miles with what I have. By the way, there was between Saturday and Sunday through the night, there was massive rainfall. And the course was muck throughout. And so it was slow going. Anyhow, so at the aid station, there were 2 young men, again, in my view, young, say 30s, early 30s, I'm gonna guess. And they were obviously buddies. So I just carried on through, beyond the aid station. It was through a road area. And up they came. And so we were running as 3 for a short time. What happened was I got into this rhythm on the road. And little did I notice that we were to peel off a trail. And so I would go off course, but they shouted right away. They were really close to me and they just went, hey, right here. And I just stopped and went, oh, I was just entranced by this road and the rhythmic running. Anyhow, so on we go. And we're running together for a very short time. And then they pulled away. But then we started to go up what I would call a gentle grade. And they were walking. And I went, I can run this, no problem. And so I caught up to them and passed them. And then we carry on. Shortly after the grade, they caught up with me, no problem. They passed me. And we hit another grade. Again, I felt that it was comfortable enough for me to run. Long, but the steepness was nothing overwhelming. They started walking again, the 2 of them. I thought, wow, they must be on the tired side. And that's probably why they were at the aid station and stopped and seemed to be lingering. And so I passed them, kept going. And then, let me see. I think they caught up with me again. And also a woman who I had passed earlier in the race, much earlier, came upon us. So it was the 4 of us. And I just thought to myself, try to hang with them as long as I can. I wasn't expending myself. I was just running and thinking, hang in there as best you can. And so it ended up, the female, she pulled away. And I thought, good for her, good girl. And then I pulled away as well and left the 2 guys behind. And that's the last we ever saw of them. So she pulls away. I think she's gone. And we keep going and going and going. And I come upon her again. I went, oh, I'm surprised to see her. I thought she was, just going to blast it to the end. And so I just kept within her sight, and enough that she would probably be aware of my presence. So we're probably in the last 4 miles of this 10.5, and I found that it was almost yo-yoing, except that I wasn't overtaking her. I wasn't strong enough to overtake her, but I thought, if she fades, I'm not that far off. And such a fascinating feeling that I had in that at my age now and the depth that I have in my racing. I thought, if I get close enough on her heels, I'm going to really spur her on and say something like I had planned to say, don't let me catch you. Don't let me pass you. Because I don't need that sense of victory anymore, but I would want it for her. Anyhow, I probably never got closer than 25 yards maybe. And that would have come and gone between 25 and say 50 yards. And I didn't know if she knew I was there, but I thought she must. And anyhow, she held on and I held on. I never passed her. And we come to the finish. She ended up beating me by 37 seconds. And I just felt really good about the whole dynamic. It was enjoyable. To my surprise, as I'm about to cross the finish line, the announcer said, and the third place finisher, women, or third place female finisher, Christine Boos from Ontario, Canada. I went, oh my goodness, I had no idea I was in third position. But I felt really great for for myself, but also the gal who took second by 37 seconds. So as I crossed the line, of course, I went to fist pump her, and she just opened up her arms and embraced me, which I thought was just adorable. And we chatted, and she said, I couldn't have done it without you being so close to me. I went, oh, that is so fulfilling for me. And also then we chatted about the details with the two guys, the two buddies. And she said when she was coming up on us and she saw me overtake them, she was going, yes, she's got it. So rooting for me. And then when she came up, I just said, wow, I was so delighted that you were here and that between the two of us, we had dropped the guys. And awesome. It was joy. It was absolute joy. And so later, I did check, of course, the results. And first place gal was way ahead. Oh, at least 10 minutes, at least. Maybe it was 20. We weren't even in the picture. And that gal was middle 30s. And the gal who I raced partly with, she is 39. And then I do get a kick out of it, and I take pride in, to see the third place female, 66 years old. And the fourth place woman was behind me by only a minute and a half. And she was, or is, 35, 36 years old. So that is my pleasure also, to be surrounded by these women, or flanked by these women, by one place on either side in their 30s. Yeah, so lots of fun.